Hi there, good people. So today we have with us the HP EliteBook 850G8 that you're going to review. From the look of things, you can see how slim this masterpiece is. That can even make you to overlook the fact that this is a 15.6-inch machine. And as usual, from the previous video, we talked about HP normally labels their EliteBook from 800 series, 700 series, 1000 series. So we have with us the 800 series, and this is HP EliteBook 850G8. 5 in the 850 stands for the screen size. So right over here we have a 15.6-inch screen size laptop, and you can see how it is. I've used it for roughly a month now, and there's so many interesting things that I'd love you to know concerning this masterpiece. And just before we get to the review of this masterpiece, I want you to do me only two favors. First thing first, don't forget to leave a like on this video. Just do that right away because I know you're going to forget. And after that, don't forget to hit on the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you get to be notified when I upload another review video, because I know for sure you're going to love this one. So let's get into the review of this great masterpiece from HP EliteBook. First thing first, the body design. As I said earlier, we have here a 15.6-inch laptop. It's pretty big. We have a very big screen. I know some of you might not like 15.6-inch screens because of portability. You love maybe the 14-inch, 13.3-inch. But on this one, the fact that it was so slim and so light, personally, I can compromise on that to get this masterpiece. You can have a look at how slim it is on the sides. We have the HP EliteBook logo written somewhere over here. Then the body chassis, it's silver in color, as you can see. There's that new HP logo over there. It's made of aluminium alloy. So what I really love about aluminium alloy, as I usually say, is that it makes the machine very strong and at the same time so light. But now the only disadvantage of this machine is that as you can see from this edge over here, this part, it's a bit plastic. I don't know if it's visible from there, but this is plastic. Then we have the network antenna right over at the edge at this point. But this part is plastic. The remaining parts are metallic. On the keyboard side too, it's still aluminium. You can see how it is. Now, let's have a look at the ports, because I know ports are usually so important in any other machine that you buy. You have to consider the ports, because if you don't consider the ports, then you'll have a lot of issues. First thing first, on the right hand side, we have right here we have the power button, and then we have USB Type A 3.2 that supports high-speed data transfers. Then you have HDMI 2.0 port right over there that supports 4K video resolution to external displays. Then you have two USB ports right over here. These two USB ports are so crucial on this machine, and what I love about these two USB-C ports over here is that you can charge your laptop from these two USB-C ports instead of using the first slot that you have over here, the HP blue pin charger. You can use the USB-C ports that you have over here. Then you can also use the USB-C ports for external displays, so they are still display ports. You can also use these ports for data transfer at high speeds. Finally, we have a SIM card slot here that supports 5G LTE module. So that module is something that is usually optional on this machine, especially if you get to refurbish one or when you're buying one. Something that you can add on yourself on the motherboard, the module, so that when you insert your SIM card here, it supports the 5G capability for network and the other things that you can do with a SIM card. On the left hand side, we have the Kingston lock right over there. We have USB Type A 3.2. Then we have audio jack or microphone jack combo right over here. Then finally we have smart card reader. This is important for business people, but if you're using this laptop on a daily use or for personal use, then I'm 100% sure that you're never going to use this smart card reader slot on your laptop. Nothing on this side as usual. We don't expect to have any port on this side. Before I just open the lid, let's have a look at what we have underneath this machine. We have a very big ventilation slot right here for inflow of air into the laptop. Then we have these two rubbers that are so crucial for proper grip of the laptop on the table. They are raised to a certain height so that when the laptop is on the table, there's proper ventilation underneath the machine. We only have around 5 screws here to open in case maybe you want to do some adjustments on RAMs and the other stuff that I'll talk about later. Then you only have to open around 5 screws right here so that you get to access the interiors of this machine, which I think it's a plus for most of us. I know you're wondering maybe where is the ventilation slot for outflow of air from this machine. We have it on this edge toward the screen, where we have the hinge and the upper body of the screen. So it's around somewhere here. This is where we have the ventilation for exhaustion of air from the machine. So now on the keyboard side, because this is also one of the most important aspects in any laptop before you buy. You have to have a look at how this interior part looks like. Does it really impress you? Does the keyboard design makes you happy? How about the screen, the bezel? Yeah, so these are things that we really have to consider. And on this one, I think it was really top notch, because just have a look at how the keyboard design is. The keys were well spaced, and even if you press on here on the keyboard side, there's no bending right here on the keyboard. The keys traveling distance are very pretty much good, and you can type on this keyboard for a very long time without getting tired. So it's a laptop actually designed for people who love typing, because the traveling design is okay. Then we have backlit. Backlit normally helps you if you're using this laptop, maybe let's say in a dark room, or let's say assume you're in those conference halls, or maybe you're in a cinema room where there's no lighting, and maybe you want to type something on a machine. So having backlight really helps you to do that. The backlight over here, we can adjust the brightness level 3 times. We have the first, the highest, second a bit dim, then finally you can turn off the backlit keyboard. Then on the keyboard still we have numerical keys here. These are so crucial for people who do statistics and data analysis. Maybe you want to type things faster, so it's easier to use the numerical keys instead of using the keys we have on this upper side. Still on the keyboard, we have speakers here that are upward firing, designed by Bang & Olufsen. You can see there. I'm not going to do a sound test on this video, but I know you normally trust me, guys. And if you don't trust me, let me know in the comment section if you don't really trust me. And after testing the speakers I have here, because I usually rate them on a scale of 0 to 10, the speakers I have here, if I were to rate them on that scale, then I'll give them a rating of 9 out of 10, because the highs and the lows coming from these speakers are just so top notch. Because you might want to use this laptop maybe let's say for entertainment, or maybe you're having a conference call and you're using the speakers right over here. Be assured that the sound quality emanating from these speakers are just top notch. Then there's something here that I'm not going to talk about right now. This over there, I'll talk about it later. Trackpad. Trackpad is so crucial, and what I really love about especially the HP EliteBook models, these latest generations ones, is that the trackpad is designed by glass. And having a trackpad design, the surface being made of glass, is that it doesn't get worn out easily. You realize those trackpads that are made of maybe metallic or plastic, with time you usually see the surface being a bit worn out. But on this one being glass, there's no worn out. We have hidden click pads underneath the trackpad that is so big, so it makes navigation on the trackpad so easy. We have 2 click pads on top, so if you are not maybe comfortable with the low ones, you can use the ones on top. And then you have the track point that is the same as the one we have on the Lenovo ThinkPads. So it's over here, you can use it with these 2 click pads. Something about this trackpad is that this trackpad we have over here, it supports multi-gestures. So you can use a single to easily control these or anything on this machine. With your 2 fingers, you can be able to scroll up and down on the laptop. With your 3 fingers, you can change between tabs and the rest. There's so many things. You'll try them on your own. There's one that I've not mentioned, maybe you'll find it out, but be assured with this trackpad, you won't need a mouse, because what's the function of a mouse? You can be able to use such a sensitive trackpad so easily, flawless and seamlessly on such a machine. And before we turn the machine on to see the specs, let's talk about the screen. So for the screen we have over here, you can see, as I said earlier, it's 15.6 inch, so it makes the laptop bigger, because 15.6 inch, the laptop has to accommodate, the frame of the laptop has to accommodate the screen. So this laptop was particularly big due to the screen I have over here. So, and as you can see from the bezel, just have a look at the bezels, very slim bezels. Even on top we have a very slim bezel, and underneath it. So despite the screen being big, the bezels are still so small, so it makes the screen, the amount of screen that we have for usage here, so worth it. Then on top of the screen here we have something that I'm not going to mention again, I'll talk about it later. We have 2 cameras right here. There's one camera, the normal camera, a 5 megapixel camera. I'll do the camera test and attach a video of it. on the next part. So guys, that is me on the camera. I don't know how good the sound quality is, but maybe you'll see from the video. Let me know how good the sound quality is. Then we have an IR camera here, that is for Windows Hello feature. Then we have camera shutter, which is usually so important for these modern day laptops. You have to have a physical shutter right on top here so that you don't use sellotape at this part to cover what we have on top there. Then we have two dual microphones right here that offers voice cancellation or noise cancellation. So what does that mean? Maybe let's say you're having a conference call and you're in a place where there's a lot of noise. So what these microphones really do is that they try to measure the noise levels in the room so that they can cancel them. If you're talking back to the person in the web conference or in the video conference call, they can be able to hear you clearly. Now, before I turn this machine on, because when I turn it on, you'll just have to look at the screen resolution and the system properties we have over here. Before I just turn it on, just want us to talk about the security features of this machine, because actually having interacted with this machine for the last 1 month, I think the security features on this machine is what really makes it top notch, yeah, on this HP EliteBook 850G8. So we have, that is around 1, 2, 3. We have 3 very important security features. So 2 are physical, then one, the most important one now, is inbuilt. So the first one, as I said earlier, we have IR face scanner here, Windows Hello. So you can just log in through the machine using the IR face scanner. Remember, face scanning is so simple. You just have to set up the face scanner, immediately look at the screen, then you're logged in to your laptop. And your face is so unique to you, unless you have a twin or you have somebody who has a close face to yours, then they cannot really log into that laptop with that screen. I've tried that so many times and none of those faces that even come closer to mine have been able to sign in through the Windows Hello. Then second, we have a fingerprint scanner right underneath the keyboard. This fingerprint scanner is also improved, and I've tried logging in the scanner. The speed at which it signs in, it's so fast, very improved. It's almost as close as the speeds we have with the phones, the fingerprint scanner. So you don't have to take your time, a lot of time typing the password, which normally it's a bit complicated, yeah, unless you're using a 4-word or a 4 digits password or PIN. Then finally, we have something we call HP ULT security over here. Now, the whole security is security that is inculcated into the HP laptops by HP. So what they normally do, that security is it helps the laptop both from the software side and the hardware side. It provides what you call self-healing. Let's assume you're using your laptop and then you get attacked maybe by a malware or those forms of cyber attacks. So what this machine normally does is that immediately you press on, maybe let's say restart the machine, it will start a self-healing process. You don't have to do the healing on yourself. It will do self-scanning on both the hardware, scanning on maybe if somebody has hacked your webcam, your keyboard, trackpad, it will do all those scannings and rectify wherever a problem or something else is needed to be rectified. So that's what I love about HP ULT security. That is very important, and it's only found on these HP EliteBook models, advanced one. With HP ULT security, if you add together with the Windows Defender, then you're totally good to go. You don't need to install any other antivirus because your machine will be well or highly protected and highly secure. You see how slim this masterpiece is. Unfortunately, the bezel can't flip up to 180 degrees, but it's okay. You see this angle we have over here, it helps the machine on the table. When you place this laptop at that angle, it raises the lower part so that at least there is sufficient air underneath the machine, because I'm usually so keen on how a laptop heats and even the fans noise coming from the machine. So HP, at least I think they had that in mind a lot. So that's why they try to design the bezel of the screen to flip to such angle so that we have enough cooling underneath the machine to avoid overheating and the fans making so much noise. Guys, I know you've been waiting for me to turn on this machine so that you see the internal specs. Let's get into what we have in or on the interior of this machine. And just before that, I know maybe you've skipped at some point of this video. Please don't forget to leave a like. I know you'll forget. Don't forget to leave a like. And if you're loving this review up to this point, don't forget to subscribe, because why not? Why not support me, guys? So let's turn it on. We see what happens. First, I'm going to do a boot up speed test to see how fast it turns on. before you get to see the interior specs. So now I'd already set my Face ID, so I'm going to use the Face ID to sign up. Then we turn it on and on again. So see, let's do that. The Face ID, actually, let's see, it's not working. Yeah, it's not recognizing me. I think maybe I'd pressed so many things, so let me just use the password instead. Yeah, it's off. And just before I turn it on, there's something here on the keyboard that was a bit weird. I'd said earlier we have the backlight key, and it's weird. If you look keenly on this keyboard, we have the power button closer to the center of this machine. I don't know why they decided to put the power button here instead of putting it at the edge of the machine. So we think maybe you have good reasons. Let me know in the comment section why the power button was placed here instead of having it where at the edge it's supposed to be normally. So let me turn it on, see what happens and how fast it turns on. So there you go. Yeah, so 1, 2, 3. See HP security 5, 6, 7. How fast is that? How fast is that? How good is that? The boot up speed. Let me know about that in the comment section. Don't forget to leave a like if you loved how fast this machine booted up. So now let me just put in the keyboard. And just before we have a look at the internal properties, I forgot to talk about the screen, the display. So we have a 15.6 inch screen over here with brightness levels of around 400 nits, which is pretty good. So it means you can use this machine on outdoor without getting distracted by the amount of sunlight out. It also has something we call anti-glare that helps or absorbs reflection so that you don't have so many reflections going through the screen to distract you when you're using it. Then just have a look at the color concentration of this laptop, because most of the machines that I've reviewed, they have something called sRGB ratio of about 50%, 60%, but on this one we have 98% sRGB ratio. So it means the screen coloring is just accurate and straight to the point where you want it. So if you're doing things like video editing, photo editing, then you'll see those objects coming as clear and as the same color that you want them to show up. So if it is red, you'll see the red color. If it's green, you see the exact green color that you want to see. So we have a very good display here, and the resolution of these displays are just 1080 Full HD. You can see from right over here. So just 1080 Full HD. But the color distribution is so strong. You know, for entertainment purposes or maybe for professional purposes, you'll want to have a laptop that has a good screen resolution and coloring or sRGB ratio. So let's have a look at the system properties. And as said earlier, we have the HP EliteBook 850G8. It's Core i7. You can see it from the sticker right over here. Yeah, Core i7 is the fingerprint scanner. Now for system properties, as usual, Control Shift Escape. Get to the task manager, because here is where you can see all the properties that you want to see on any machine. So first and foremost, the CPU. So CPU here you can see it's 11th gen Intel Core i7 1165G7, yeah, at 2.87. So the base speed we have here is 2.8 gigahertz. Number of sockets definitely is 1. Then cores, we have 4 cores and 8 logical processors. You can see over there. So it's currently operating at a low speed of 1.8 gigahertz, but this processor has the capability to turbo boost up to 4.7 gigahertz. So that is pretty much high speed we have over there. Then let's have a look at the memory. So for the memory here we have 16 GB of RAM installed, you can see from there. Then here each memory has a speed of 3200 megahertz, you can see. Then the number of slots used here, so this is so important. So on this machine we have number of slots used, that is 1 out of 2. So we only have 116 GB of RAM installed, one slot, then one slot is empty. So I can put another 16 GB of RAM to make it 30 GB of RAM, or use it as 16 GB, or maybe put 8 GB to make it 16 plus 8 to make it 24 GB of RAM. You can see the form factor is sodium, so it means you can be able to adjust the RAM on this machine. Then for storage right over there, we have an SSD that has don't know what type of SSD is this. I've used the Samsung models and the rest, but I hope it's not that bad, because there's some companies that make SSD that are not that recommendable. So for the capacity, here we have 260 SSD. You can upgrade it to 1 TB, 2 TB if you like. It's to your liking, and it also depends on how good your pocket is. Now for the Wi-Fi, we have Wi-Fi 6 that is so good, and it's a modern type of Wi-Fi card that accepts high-speed internets. Then for the GPU, that is so interesting. It's usually so crucial GPU. So we have an integrated GPU here of Intel Iris Xe graphics. With this GPU, you can still do a lot of things like video editing, gaming. But for gamers, remember, don't play those heavy, high-end games on this machine, because it won't last that long. So you can only play maybe those high-end games, but at low settings, extremely low settings, so that the machine doesn't overheat. This laptop is not meant for gaming, it's meant for business professionals. But again, too much work without play makes Tom a dull boy. They definitely will have to play, but just play the lighter games on these ones, because it will actually support us. For FIFA boys, I know you can install FIFA on this machine and play it smoothly without having any issues. That FIFA is not very heavy game. But there's some other games that are so heavy and demanding that won't be able to play well on this machine. Having said all that, we've come to the end of the review of this masterpiece, and maybe there's some few things that I really love to point out. Remember, having this HP EliteBook 850G8, I know it's very big, 15.6 inch, but it has some advantages on it on the motherboard side. You can be able to upgrade the RAM on this machine because you have 2 slots for RAM, so you can upgrade it to your liking. From maybe what you have is 16, you can upgrade it to 32 GB if you want, and if you can get that to 32 to make it 64, then again it's up to you. You can upgrade the SSD, the storage, you can upgrade the Wi-Fi card, you can add 5G LTE module here for SIM card capabilities. So it's very, very much upgradable compared to some of the latest laptops that you have on the market that are not upgradable. Actually, they're not upgradable, they're not repairable. But on this one, so many things can be able to adjust, can be able to upgrade the screen, can get a screen with better resolution than the one we have here, or get a lower one. But why will you do that? That's the end of this review, guys. Just a minute. I know maybe most of you signed out before even the video came to an end. There's something else that I've really forgotten that is so crucial: the battery life. I know that is so important, because why will you have a laptop if you're not sure how long the battery lasts? And as I said earlier, having used this machine for around 1 month, if you use this battery for just normal browsing, doing light tasks, then I almost forget about why I placed my charger for a day, because the battery lasts way past a day. But if I do heavy tasks, because I have DaVinci Resolve over here for video editing, then the battery lasts around 4.5 hours, which is so understandable, because those things like video editing and rendering, they normally draw a lot of power from the laptop, because the processor is operating at very high speed. The amount of power being drawn from the battery is so high, therefore the battery doesn't last as much. But if you're getting this machine for business purposes, and I know those tasks, even programming, they don't draw so much power from the laptop, then be assured that you can use this machine for a day without charging. So you have around 12 hours of battery life on this masterpiece, depending on where you get it. If you get a refurbished one, then the battery life will be way lower than that, because most of the refurbished laptops, they have battery life around 6 or 4 hours. But on new models, if you get a new one, then expect the battery to last 12 hours and above. See you guys now for sure on the next one.